Today, I have a special guest, Nick Adams, to go through some of the biggest stories in the news. Nick, thank you for coming on again.
Stephen, it's always a pleasure to join you and your viewers.
So, just some background for my viewers. Nick Adams is the founder of Flag USA 1776. He's a political commentator as well as an author. I want to get your unique perspective. You are considered an immigrant from Australia. But now you're a proud, naturalized U.S. citizen. What do you make of President Trump removing gang leaders, rapists, drug dealers, and killers, and Democrats fighting tooth and nail to keep them in the country? Your thoughts on that?
Stephen, President Trump is exhibiting an enormous amount of common sense in deporting those types of people, and Democrats are showing that they have absolutely no common sense or decency, for that matter, in fighting President Trump on that. As a legal immigrant, naturalized US citizen, as you correctly point out, I can tell you everything you need to know about the immigration system. It's really, really easy for bad people to come the wrong way, and it's really, really hard for good people to come the right way. It took me 4.5 years, Stephen. It cost me more than $50,000. It was a pretty harrowing time in my life, just kind of having my life on hold. But I've got to tell you, if I had to do it all over again, I would, because it's definitely worth it. And the first act to join the country that you love should never be to break the law. That's disrespecting the country straight out of the gate. And so nothing frustrates a legal immigrant more than seeing illegal immigration and illegal immigrants being rewarded for their bad, illegal, and immoral behavior.
Yeah, I told my wife, I said, the average Social Security recipient is almost 70 years old. They receive just over $1,200 a month. But someone who's been in the country for 5 minutes was getting on average $3,400 a month, plus 3 free meals and $21,000 in luxury hotel stays. I was tempted to go to Mexico and cross the border, but of course I would never do that. But what a slap in the face to people that came here legally. What a slap in the face to people who were born here, are natural born citizens. I just, like you say, I think Trump has used so much common sense. Do you think that as we go into the midterms, that's going to be like their major talking point? Hey, we fought for rapists and illegals. Vote for us.
Well, Stephen, if they go down that path, then the election result is going to be even worse for them than what it was in November of 2024. Look, the Democrats want to change the country, and they want to change the country from within. And the way to do that is through illegal immigration. And that's why the Democrats have been champions of it. That's why on day one, Joe Biden opened up all of the borders. Donald Trump had it under control. Joe Biden came in, his administration, they wanted open borders, Stephen, and they gave us all of these different excuses and how hard it was, particularly when they were trying to get Kamala elected at the end of last year. But the reality is what President Trump has been, and Tom Homan and all of the people involved in this administration have shown us, is it's a matter of will. If you want to do it, it can be done, and it can be done very quickly, because it hasn't even taken them 100 days, Stephen, to get border crossings down by 95%, down 95% from this time last year. That is incredible. That is remarkable. Every proud, patriotic American should be grinning from ear to ear at the success of this administration in protecting borders, because if we don't have borders, Stephen, we don't have a country.
Yeah. I think most people are happy, but let me roll a clip and then we'll react to it together. 1 second here.
And you have a baby here with you. You're a disgusting, sick, vile weirdo. Oh my God, it's right. You dumb, you're with this. He doesn't want me or you to have equality. Oh my God, go pray for me. Touch me and watch me touch sick. Get out. You're not welcome here. You don't want these people here. You're not welcome. You want me to make you be okay and comfortable in this room? Who the hell are you?
I'm proud of this man. This man here is going to keep people like you.
You guys call the cops.
Thank you, sir. Very
You don't like the prior service, but you don't like veterans? I have no respect for the restaurant wearing that hat. That don't make me dance.
Okay, so is Trump derangement syndrome getting bad? I mean, this is an elderly couple minding their business, eating some delicious, delicious Mexican food, and the gentleman happens to be wearing a "Make America Great" hat, and this lady goes absolutely berserk. Your thoughts on Trump derangement syndrome? Better or worse?
Well, Stephen, I actually would have said before viewing that clip, which I did yesterday, I would have said that Trump derangement syndrome had somewhat abated. It had appeared based on the election and the transition period and then the inauguration. We did not see the craziest elements of the left out the way that we did, say, just after 2016 and then the very beginning parts of Trump's first administration. But this lady is certainly a sandwich short of a picnic. She has got a kangaroo loose in her top paddock. She is not the full dollar. I mean, I could go on and on and on. She is loco, as they might say, and rather appropriate given where she was. Look, at the end of the day, these people are going to whine, they're going to complain, they're going to insult. But the results speak for themselves, Stephen. This country is doing better now than at any point during the 4 years of Joe Biden. This is a country that is going to be proud again. It's going to lead in innovation, in manufacturing. President Trump is going to make sure that no one is ripping us off anymore. Everything looks sunny. We are living in the golden age. We have a man who everything it feels like was sent by God and his life was spared by God to help us at this incredibly crucial and pivotal time in American history. That lady there disrupting that elderly couple, she obviously wants this to be a Chinese century. I don't. And I think that there are a majority of Americans that don't either. We want it to be an American century. We want America to remain the pinnacle nation on this earth. And the only way we're going to do that is by having someone like President Trump with the courage, with the passion, with the ability, with the knowledge, and the brilliance, quite frankly, to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. And I think he's doing a great job. Although, let me pull this to the stage. This kind of shocked me. A new poll says that President Trump has been ranked as the lowest president of 45 men that have served in the great office of President of the United States. They're saying that Biden is the 14th best president and Donald Trump is the absolute worst president. Your thoughts on that craziness?
Stephen, I want whatever they're smoking. I mean, historians, please, where did they get their degree from? A cereal packet? To seriously think that Donald Trump is the least best president of the 47? I mean, it is absolutely insane. And then to say that Joe Biden is the 14th best. I mean, it is absolutely, these guys are not objective, they're not fair, they're not reasonable. This is clearly a con job.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is the mainstream media keeps putting out pieces like this saying people are having buyer's remorse, they regret their vote, and yet the polling data shows him going up. And now even more Democrats are starting to say, okay, I like the common sense. I like that he is much more calm than he was in term number one. It's almost like we got Trump 1, now we got Trump 2. He still has that feisty fire in the belly, but he's much more calm. But look at everything he's done. We're not even at 100 days yet. And then to say that he's the worst president we've had, it's crazy to me.
Look, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, it is absolutely crazy. I think that President Trump is the best president that the United States of America has ever had. For the longest time, I didn't think in terms of modern day that we would ever get somebody on the level of Ronald Reagan. But I think, Stephen, in my opinion, Donald Trump has even surpassed Ronald Reagan. His first term, Donald Trump's first term, I thought was unbelievably good. This one, it's like waking up every day and it's Christmas. It is fabulous to see the aggression and power with which he is going after a legacy, of which he is trying to address all of the problems in America today. There is a serenity to him that he did not have in the first term, Stephen. There is no question about that. I was with the president in March in the Oval Office, and I can tell you that he is a man that looks very much at peace, yet is in a hurry, is in a hurry to fix all the damage that was wrought upon us by the Biden-Harris administration and really change America in a way that is going to be so consequential, it can either never be undone or it will take a century to undo.
Yeah. I'm going to show you something that might make you just even more mad. If you go down on this and you look, it says that they even rank Biden higher than Ronald Reagan. Like, we know Trump was better than Biden, and we know Ronald Reagan, like you said. Where are these people? Did they get their degree from a cereal box? I love that. It's just it's crazy to me. I think he's doing such a great job. In fact, let me roll another clip. This is why I think a billionaire is now leading the working class. Let me show this.
Every one billionaire that backed President Trump, Kamala Harris had 2. 9 of the 10 richest counties in America are represented by Democrats. 65% of Americans making over $500,000 a year today are Democrats. 75% of hedge fund managers who make political donations donate to Democrats, and 95% of political donations from the top 3 management consulting firms go to Democrats. Meanwhile, President Trump absolutely crushed with Americans who make under $100,000 a year. The Democrats are the party of the wealthy. And Donald Trump is representing the working class because he simply lifted the pro-worker elements of the Democrats' agenda when they abandoned the working class to cater to their rich base. This is all performance art. And what's so upsetting about it is they are being paid by the American people to serve them, and they're doing nothing of the kind.
So you have the richest counties, the richest people, the richest hedge fund managers. All of their money couldn't overcome the fact that the working class American wanted somebody that had their back, fought for jobs, fought for wages, could relate to them. Is this just like a David versus Goliath situation? Because you would think that money would be able to buy off the office of president. But I really think that this was the American people showing up and taking back their country.
Yes, Stephen. Look, I'll genuinely have whatever she's smoking, and I'd like to smoke it with her. She is absolutely dead on the money. This was a people's win. This was a victory for the everyday, ordinary, regular American men and women that supported President Trump. And President Trump, Stephen, has consistently, against unbelievable odds, unparalleled adversity, fought for the American people that have been ignored and absolutely abandoned by the political and financial elite. And no amount of money can match the relationship that President Trump has with working class, middle class Americans. They understand his authenticity. They get that what they see is who he is. No matter where he is, Stephen, if he goes to a rural town in the United States, he doesn't put on a pair of jeans and boots and a flannel shirt. No, he's always in the same dark suit, either a solid red or blue tie, He never changes his accent. We've seen Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Kamala, all of them go and try and adapt their voice and their accent to the crowd or the state or the place that they're speaking in. Donald Trump never does anything like that. It's always that distinctive Queen's accent. And they're the things that make him genuine. They're the things that make him trustworthy. They're the reason that working class people support him, believe in him, and why he has this unbelievable relationship with those voters.
Yeah. Have you seen comedian Bill Maher? And he did this 12-minute monologue about Kid Rock sticking his neck out saying, "Hey, why don't you come from LA out to Washington, D.C., and I'll organize this dinner with President Trump, somebody you have ripped apart from top to bottom for a decade, and why don't you guys actually meet? And no pressure, you don't have to be friends. We just want to see where it goes." And Bill Maher comes back, he does this 12-minute monologue saying, "This is a totally normal guy. Like, he's not at all what I thought he was." What are your thoughts on that story?
Look, I saw that story. I'm grateful that President Trump hosted Bill Maher, and I'm grateful that Bill Maher, at least to some extent, came out and said what all of us know, which is that President Trump is a nice man. He's hospitable. He is charismatic. He listens. I mean, that's the best thing about President Trump. He's a fabulous listener, something that a lot of people also miss, Stephen. But at the same time, I would say that we shouldn't really cozy up all that quickly to someone like Bill Maher, because you're right. For more than a decade, he has been really nasty and really personal and really gone out of his way to attack President Trump and the people that support President Trump. So I'm glad to see that President Trump is reaching out to all Americans on all sides of the aisle, no matter where they fall. And I'm glad to see that the private side of President Trump is also being revealed now by someone who's on the left.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And then uh, um, it was just really cool to see. And then Kid Rock put out a video. He's like, "Man, I stuck my neck out. This ends up being a great experience." And the mainstream media was silent about it, because it doesn't fit their narrative that he's a bad guy. And it's just sad the way that the mainstream media portrays the president of the United States. Okay, so you've got this book. I love the title, From Mar-a-Lago to Mars. Tell me about this new book that's coming out.
I'm really, really proud of this one, Stephen. This is the best book that I've written, From Mar-a-Lago to Mars, President Trump's Great American Comeback. Look, I write political books, but this book is not just a political book. This book is about life. This book is a self-help book. This book is a manual on how to win based on the lessons and principles that we have observed from Donald Trump's life. No one has experienced as much adversity as President Trump, Stephen. Impeached twice, indicted, sued, arrested. They tried to kill him twice that we know of. This is a man that has been through everything. And he hasn't just survived, he's thrived. And so I really wanted to dig deep this time and find those invaluable lessons for all of us, no matter who we are, whether we're Republican or Democrat, whether we're raising children, whether we are starting, growing a business, running a business, no matter what it is that we're doing in our life, the lessons that President Trump has taught us about resilience and never retreating and always advancing and having an unshakable self-belief. These are all things that we can apply to our own lives to make ourselves great again. So that's what this book is all about. No one has ever really looked at President Trump, Stephen, from that perspective and drawn the human lessons out of him that can be applied to every single person on Earth's own life so they can live their life to its maximum.
Yeah, I love that. What did you say? His example of an unshakable self-belief, something like that. He really does. To me, it's not like pride or cockiness. It's that he just believes that as long as he keeps trying, he can succeed. And I really admire him. My wife and I, we went with some friends to see the Reagan movie.
Yes.
And seeing Ronald Reagan's life was so fascinating. I wish the movie had actually been a little bit longer, but it made me think I can't wait to see the Donald Trump movie. And so I think someone will make it, and it will be a
It's
great film.
going to be the greatest ever. There's no question.
Bigly. Well, I'm excited about that. When does the book come out? I'll put a link down below for people to pre-order.
Yeah, the book is available for pre-order right now. It comes out on the 20th of May. President Trump endorsed it. Make this great writer #1. He, of course, has endorsed many of my previous books. When I was with him on the 14th of March in the Oval, I showed it to him and he was all about it. He wants to make sure that it hits all the bestseller lists. So pre-orders make up a big part of that. Get out there and pre-order it. If you want to know how to make your life better, if you want to learn things about Donald Trump from his earliest days in New York, the things that he did that were unorthodox and that weren't really the way that people would have suggested, to obviously now his time in politics through the rigged election of 2020, then going to Mar-a-Lago, and then coming back in the greatest comeback ever. It's truly amazing, and this book covers it all.
Oh, yeah. It like watching the miracle of his life be spared in Butler, Pennsylvania was really amazing. Next to that, watching his comeback story from president to basically booted out, and then the truth came out about January 6th and just everything, and then his march back to Washington, D.C. It's been such an honor and a privilege to cover it as a reporter. It's just really, really amazing. Well, Nick, I know you're a busy man. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you for everything that you're doing. I love America is better for having you as a citizen. We need more people like you that are out boldly reminding Americans it's okay to be American. It's great to be American, and to take pride in that. I'm going to put those links down below. If people want to follow you online, where's the best place for me to point them?
Well, they can sign up for my Substack, Nick Adams MAGA. I've got a very popular Substack now, Stephen. President Trump reads it. He loves it as well. You can go and follow me on Instagram at NickA1. You can follow me on X at Nick Adams in USA. And you can follow me on Facebook at Nick Adams in America.
Okay, great. I'll put those links down below. Thank you again. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
It's been a pleasure, Stephen. Thank you.